Welcome, lovers of classical music. Today I bring you a profound and exciting journey through the life of Johannes Brahms, the composer who inherited Beethoven's legacy, fused classicism with romanticism, and created some of the most moving and structured works in history. In this video, we'll explore every stage of his life, from his humble childhood in the port districts of Hamburg to becoming one of the giants of music, with symphonies that took decades to come to fruition and melodies that continue to touch the soul. Prepare to discover precocious talent, legendary friendships, impossible loves, inner struggles, and an absolute dedication to musical perfection. If you stay until the end, I'll share the best book ever written about Chopin's last manuscript, which will help you better understand this composer and his story. Subscribe if you enjoy the video and join me on this fascinating journey through Brahms's life. Johannes Brahms was born on May 7, 1833, in Hamburg, a vibrant but harsh port city in northern Germany. His family lived in modest conditions in a working-class neighborhood near the docks. His father, Johann Jacob Brahms, was a double bassist in the municipal orchestra and played in taverns and beer halls to supplement the family income. His mother, Johanna Henrika Christian Niesen, was a small woman of fragile health, 17 years older than her husband. Johannes was the second of 3 children. He had an older sister, Elise, and a younger brother, Fritz. From a very young age, Johannes showed extraordinary musical talent. At the age of 7, he was already taking piano lessons with Friedrich Wilhelm Kossel, a local teacher who immediately recognized his perfect pitch and natural ease. Kossel was impressed by how the child memorized complex pieces and reproduced them with astonishing accuracy. Later, at the age of 10, he went on to study with Eduard Marxsen, an excellent teacher who taught him music theory, composition, and a deep respect for the classical tradition of Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven. Marxsen would be a decisive influence throughout his life. Brahms's childhood was not easy. To help support the family, at the age of 13 or 14, he began playing the piano in taverns and disreputable venues in the port of Hamburg. There he performed dance music, waltzes, and popular songs for sailors, workers, and sometimes in noisy and questionable environments. This early experience left a mark on him. On the one hand, he developed a solid and resilient pianistic technique. On the other, he cultivated a reserved character and an aversion to ostentation. He never spoke much about those years, but it is known that they affected him deeply. At 16, Brahms was already giving public recitals in Hamburg and composing his first pieces. In 1853, at the age of 20, his life changed forever. He accompanied the Hungarian violinist Eduard Remenyi as a pianist on a tour through Germany. During that journey, he met Joseph Joachim, one of the most outstanding violinists of the time, who was fascinated by his talent and provided him with letters of recommendation. Joachim suggested that he visit Franz Liszt in Weimar and, above all, Robert and Clara Schumann in Dusseldorf. Brahms arrived at the Schumann's house in September of 1853. Robert was not at home at first, but the next day Brahms played for him. Schumann listened to the piano sonatas Opus 1 and 2 and was so impressed that he exclaimed that the Messiah had arrived. In October of that year, he published a famous article in the journal Neue Zeitschrift für Musik entitled New Paths, in which he proclaimed Brahms the heir to Beethoven and predicted a brilliant future for him. Those words launched Brahms into the musical world, but they also burdened him with immense pressure. The shadow of Beethoven would be a constant throughout his career. The relationship with the Schumanns became the axis of his life. Robert and Clara welcomed him like a son. Clara, one of the most brilliant pianists in Europe, premiered several of his works and became his confidant. Brahms deeply admired Robert, but soon a special bond arose with Clara. When, in 1854, Robert attempted suicide and was admitted to a sanatorium, Brahms settled in Dusseldorf to help the family. He supported Clara emotionally and practically during her husband's illness. Deep feelings arose between them, an intense love restrained by respect and circumstances. After Robert's death in 1856, the bond continued for decades. Passionate letters, frequent visits, and a friendship that never fully crossed into marriage, although many believe it was the great love of both their lives. During those formative years, Brahms composed early masterpieces. His 3 great piano sonatas, the number 1 in C major, number 2 in F-sharp minor, and number 3 in F minor, already show his maturity. Solid structures, romantic passion, and absolute mastery of form. Sonata number 3, with its 5 movements and poetic atmosphere, is considered one of the peaks of romantic piano music. He also wrote variations on themes by Schumann and Handel, demonstrating his ability to transform others' ideas into his own creations. But not everything was easy. Brahms was an extreme perfectionist. He destroyed scores that did not convince him and took years to publish. The pressure of being Beethoven's successor paralyzed him when it came to composing symphonies. For more than 20 years, he avoided writing a symphony, fearing the inevitable comparison. Instead, he devoted himself to chamber music, trios, quartets, quintets, and sonatas that reveal his genius in thematic development and harmonic richness. Before we continue, let's take a moment. If you're enjoying this story, please subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us keep bringing you the lives of geniuses like Brahms, Mozart, and Beethoven. And speaking of delving deeper into music, I recommend checking out the book Chopin's Last Manuscript, a book by Beth Kellum that explores this composer in depth. The link is in the description and the pinned comment. Thank you so much, and let's get back to Brahms. In 1862, Brahms settled permanently in Vienna, the city that had been home to Beethoven, Mozart, and Haydn. There he found the perfect environment for his classical romantic spirit. He became director of the Singakademie and later of the Gesellschaft der Musikfreunde. Vienna adopted him as one of its own, although he never lost his northern accent or his simplicity. He lived in modest apartments, walked in the Prater, frequented taverns and cafes, and maintained an austere life despite his growing fame. During the 60s and 70s, he composed some of his most beloved works. The Hungarian dances, based on gypsy and folk melodies, became an immediate success. He wrote the German Requiem, a monumental choral work that is not a traditional liturgical requiem, but rather a consoling meditation on death and hope. Premiered in 1868, it was a triumph and cemented his reputation as the greatest choral composer since Bach. Brahms never married. He had several deep female friendships, with Clara Schumann, with the singer Hermine Spies, with Elisabeth von Herzogenburg, but he always maintained emotional distance. He preferred independence and creative solitude. His character was complex, generous with friends and young musicians, but sarcastic, reserved, and sometimes brusque. He financially supported many people, destroyed other composers' scores that he considered bad, and demanded the same level of rigor from himself. Finally, in 1876, at the age of 43, he premiered his first symphony in C minor. He had taken more than 20 years to complete it. The public and critics received it enthusiastically. Hans von Bülow called it Beethoven's 10th. Brahms had overcome his fear. 3 more symphonies followed within a few years. The second in D major, luminous and pastoral. The third in F major, with its famous opening motif. And the fourth in E minor, with its monumental final Passacaglia. These 4 symphonies are pillars of the orchestral repertoire. He also composed unforgettable concertos. The Piano Concerto No. 1 in D minor, dramatic and passionate. No. 2 in B-flat major, more serene and expansive. The Violin Concerto in D major, dedicated to Joachim, one of the most difficult and beautiful works for that instrument, and the Double Concerto for violin and cello. In his final years, Brahms focused on intimate chamber music and piano pieces. The string quartets, quintets, and the clarinet sonatas with Mühlfeld, inspired by the clarinetist Richard Mühlfeld, show an emotional depth and a masterful economy of means. His last works, such as the piano pieces Opus 116 to 119, are introspective, melancholic, and of an austere beauty. Brahms died on April 3, 1897, in Vienna, at the age of 63, a victim of liver cancer. His death shocked the musical world. He left behind an immense legacy. For symphonies, concertos, more than 200 songs, choral, chamber, and piano music that combines structural rigor with romantic emotion. Johannes Brahms was not a revolutionary like Wagner or Liszt. He was a guardian of tradition who enriched it with his own voice. His music teaches us that perfection requires patience, that deep emotion does not need excess, and that true genius is born from tireless work. He leaves us melodies that console, structures that inspire, and a life dedicated to pure beauty. If you enjoyed this journey through Brahms's life, subscribe to the channel. Your support allows us to continue telling the stories of the great composers. Your support allows us to continue sharing the stories of great composers. And as promised, here's my final recommendation. The best Chopin book, Chopin's Last Manuscript, link in description. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for joining me, and see you in the next video.